Namaste. Welcome to Perseverance IAS. These are the important Hindu articles that one should read in the Hindu newspaper for July 12th, 2021, that is Monday. The first article is New Population Policy Keeps All Sections in Mind, Adityanath. Read this article from the perspective of what is the policy here, particularly that one we are talking about is Uttar Pradesh Population Policy for 2021 to 2030. Now, read what are the intricacies of this policy, why it is significant, and try to get an understanding of how it is different from any other previous population control policies. That is how you should read it. The next article that you have to read today is Chinese protest against Dalai Lama's birthday celebrations. Just read it to understand, not even significant. Just try to get an bearing on where the protest took place, okay? Apart from that, not significant. Now, moving on, mobile theatre groups in Assam face a bleak future. So, try to understand what are these mobile theatre groups, why they are facing a bleak future, and how important are they for the culture of Assam. From that perspective, read that. Cultural wise, important. Otherwise, don't worry. So moving on, I think page number 3 we don't have much. Again, page number 4, light news today, but the important one is Assam Mizoram border row flares again. So don't read as to what is happening now. Read as to what was the reason behind of these clashes. Try to get the historical perspective, what has been going on in the past, and why they are translating into the present day. Just get an understanding of the region or the district. Apart from that, don't worry about it. Just get an bearing as to what was the reason, meaning history. What is the history? So moving on, 3 more Zika cases take Kerala's tally to 18. What is Zika virus? Where was the Zika virus first seen? Are there treatments for Zika virus? Why Kerala is seeing high number of Zika virus or Zika cases? 3 questions, try to answer them. Moving on to the editorial cooperative spirit. Read this. This is important because recently there was a ministry created for cooperations or cooperatives. Try to read this article. It is little bit. It gives you a little bit of nuance as to what is the reason behind the cooperation is. Minister of Cooperation is created, and what are the fears of states in regards to that new ministry created. Now, a Kerala model for an anti-discriminatory law. Just read it once. My humble opinion is don't even bother making notes because it's just read it once. That's it. Don't even bother about it. If something meaningful happens in the future, I think there is ample time for us to read about this thing. But apart from that, don't even, it might look important right now. Trust me, it is not. Okay? Because there are a lot of things that go behind the scenes. And coming from Mr. Shashi Tharoor, I humbly suggest you just skip it. Now, shaping a trilateral as Rome looks to Indo-Pacific. This is very important. See, Italy is a significant partner in G7 and European Union. This renewed look or this renewed outreach from Italy towards India is significant. Try to understand why they are doing it. Also, try to relate what are the problems that Italy is facing from the Turkish or Turkey. Because Turkey is putting a lot of pressure on Italy, on Cyprus or some island. Try to understand that perspective also, because it will give you a 360-degree view why Italy is reimagining relationships with India. Now, from that perspective, try to get an understanding. First, what is the issue with Turkey that Italy is facing? Why the outreach that Italy is trying to do is something special, because they haven't done it in the past, and why they are doing it in Indo-Pacific. They were very largely related to the Mediterranean Sea and Eastern seaboards. Now they are trying to get into Indian Ocean region also. And remember, the more countries that join the Indo-Pacific bandwagon, the better for India. So from that perspective, read this article. Now moving on to the op-ed, tapping on the potential of the youth. Read this article in relations to the recent editorial that was given by the that talks about the sweet spot of Indian population. Apart from that, don't worry about it. Just get few points out of this. not even problem. So moving on, new IT rules are empowering and will protect us, protect users. Minister, this is the new ministry in position. So just read it to get an understanding. Now moving on to the significant article, HAL to deliver first batch of 3 light combat helicopters. So what are these LCHs? Why they are important? What is the indigenous capabilities that they are talking about? Try to get an understanding of what are the counterparts to LHC in the world. This prelims perspective है, mains में कुछ नहीं आएगा, nothing will come in mains, just prelims perspective. Please read it from the prelims perspective. Don't even worry about the mains perspective. Don't waste time. So moving on, Kandahar evacuation is temporary, says MEA. Again, ground situation, read it from that perspective. You need to keep them in mind to potentially create a timeline of events in either mains or to revise. So pressure fuse points to Pakistan hand. Again, just to get to update on what is happening, why the investigation is progressing. Because significant, because first time a drone has been used. Apart from that, not even, if otherwise we wouldn't have even studied it. Now page number 10, current weather could add to virus symptoms. Again, really to understand what the third wave would look like and what are the challenges in third wave and the second wave itself. Puri decked up for annual Radha Yatra. Understand what is this Radha Yatra, where it takes place, why it is significant. Moving on, PM appeals for Padma Award nominations. Why this is important, why the appeal is important. Try to read it from that perspective. Scheme for widows in Assam. Just read it from the perspective to give an example how various state governments approach this COVID-19 relief issue. So moving on to page number 11, Kabul airport gets anti-missile system. Read it from the perspective of the ground realities. Why they are giving anti-missile systems to Kabul airport. Now moving on, Richard Branson takes off first in space tourism race. What is the space tourism race that they are talking about? Which companies are involved? How the Indian connection is important here. From that perspective, read that article. Now, HK pro-democracy group downsizes over safety fears. So this article is in regards to the complete takeover of Chinese of the Hong Kong area. Read to get an understanding or give a possible example in mains. So these are the important articles that one might read or must read in the Hindu newspaper for 12th July 2021. Thank you. Stay safe. Namaste.